Stinky. Welcome in to the DNVR Avalanche Postgame live from the Toyota Lounge. Unfortunately, a loser's lounge, the first real loser's lounge in a long time for the Avs. Powered by your Front Range Toyota dealerships and presented by Bet365. We got Bailey and Rudo coming to you live to break it all down. Avs lose 6-3 to the New York Islanders.
They were due.
Yeah, and look, there's a lot of ways to look at this. We're going to break down a lot of the bad, and there was a lot of bad in this game. You can make excuses if you want to. I think there is definitely still some sickness going through the Avs team. The first goal of the game is highly questionable. But also, I don't think you need to make excuses. It was just a bad game from the Colorado Avalanche, and you can live with that.
No, this is the first game in 17.
Yep.
The Avs have dropped a point to their they
no,
haven't come out of it
no
with a
points.
point. Yeah.
Yes.
As many bad things as there were, I can't say that I'm too terribly upset given what they've accomplished so far.
Big picture, I'm upset zero.
Yeah.
There are only two things that I'm taking away from this game as like something that I would question from the Colorado Avalanche. The other 90 negative things we're going to talk about, justifiably upset tonight about them.
Yeah.
But tomorrow I will not care.
No.
So.
Nope. It's really hard to, again, given what they have done so far. But I don't know. It's hard for me, especially because like they did not look like the Avs that we are used to.
Not at all.
They very few guys that I can say I was pleased with tonight.
Yeah, I think there are some positive guys to take out of it, but even them, I don't think there's a single Av that played their best game tonight. Like,
not at all. Some I would almost say like has been their worst of the season.
I think there are multiple that this was their worst game of the season for sure. We'll get into all of that. Let's start with the 60-second rundown, though, so we can run down the entire game for you real quick. First period actually didn't start off that bad. The first 5 minutes felt more even, and then a wild play in front of the Avs net goes in. It's challenged for goalie interference, but the goal ultimately stands for New York, and it's 1-0. The rest of this first period was weird. It was pretty high event, but it didn't really feel that dangerous for the Avs at times, and maybe some of that is Sorokin just playing well. And then in the last couple minutes of the period, the Avs get lost defensively. New York strikes again. It's 2-0, and the Avs never really recovered from that, if we're being honest. Second period started horribly. Colorado looked awful in the second. It quickly becomes 3 and then 4-0 off of a bad one from Blackwood for 4. The Avs get 2 quick strikes, but it doesn't feel like they're really playing better hockey. A couple of pucks just went in the net, and New York gets a late one in the second, too, to make it 5-2. The Avs strike early in the third to make it 5-3. You feel maybe, but nothing really comes to fruition from there. And an empty netter for New York makes it 6-3. Yeah, there was far too much bad for the Avs to overcome in this game. And credit to New York, they played well. They worked hard, I think, particularly when it came to things like board battles and puck races. They won way more than their fair share by outworking the Avs. So good job on them, but also way too many guys just going through the motions in this game for the Avs.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think about that going through the motion situation, and it's really another really difficult thing for me to say, too, because he had a goal tonight, but Martin Necas.
I mean, he was the last Av to touch that puck. Like, that's the type of goal that was. Like,
it's a tough game, I think, you could maybe make another case for this if some more of your top guys are showing up and you're getting a performance at least out of them.
Yep.
I feel like, good goal by Lecky.
Yep.
But other than that, like, Mac looked sleepy.
Oh,
Net just looked sleepy. Brock Nelson looked okay. Landy looked okay.
Yep.
But I don't know. Like, it just...
The thing is, your top line, I agree, sleepy and really not very good, even if Necas does technically have a goal on the stat sheet. Your second line looked okay, but that's not what the Avs needed. This game, especially when this game got into the second period and the Avs got a couple of fluky goals or whatever you want to call them, the game was screaming out for someone to give the Avs a little bit of jump, someone to make a play to get the Avs kicked into gear and get going, and they just never really got it, to be honest.
Yeah.
No one really stepped up and made that big play that the Avs needed.
Which is normally like when you expect maybe like a Nathan McKinnon to turn things on, or maybe you get the errant like bottom six guy looking for more ice time, trying to push things a little bit.
Even like a big hit or something.
Yeah, like a Josh Manson, who also had a really bad game.
A screamer of a bad one for him.
Yeah, but you're expecting a guy like that to come out and do something, give the guys a little bit of energy, and it just didn't happen at all.
Yeah.
So.
There's very, very little on the... Well, I don't know. I think there's a couple of different angles to look at this. It just felt like a death by 1,000 cuts a little bit from the Avs. You play a first period where, maybe against a weaker goalie, you do score one or two in that first period, and it's a completely different game. Mm-hmm. But you don't get those past Sorokin. And even then, if you end the first period down 1-0, hey, we're right in the game. One play, the one goal that's in is a weird one. You don't feel too bad. But you give up that second goal, and it beats you down going into the second intermission. You come out absolutely sluggish. You feel like the Avs don't have it in them, and they pay that price eventually to go down 3-0. And even then, you're saying, hey, the Avs have come back from 3 goals down before this year. It's not impossible.
They can do it.
And then Blackwood at that moment decides to give up an absolutely horrible goal. And it just stacked up on the Avs to a point where they just couldn't overcome it.
And you almost feel a little decent about it, too, when you get the 2 fluky goals.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, the push, although maybe we didn't expect the push, maybe it's starting to come.
And then it didn't.
Matt Barzal.
Yeah.
On what was a horrible play from Brent Burns to kind of give that up, too. And that was just kind of the nail in the coffin for me. That third period push from Lecky to try to maybe get something jump started, it just seemed like a too little too late. Like the team was already kind of done and over it. Like they had already thrown this game away.
Yep.
There's no coming back from that.
Yeah, that was the final nail in the coffin, and then turns out that coffin was made of Charmin. It was not hard to drive that nail in.
No.
It just... And, good resilience from the Islanders, good credit to the Islanders for pushing, maintaining. I think they're either the first... Was there maybe one other game where the Avs gave up 40 shots this year?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
One of very few.
Yeah. Not very often that they are getting outshot like that.
It takes 2 to tango. Is the Avs' poor defense part of that? Absolutely. But the Islanders had to jump on it, and they did. So, good job on that front from the Islanders. Bad job on that front from the Avs.
Yep.
And where this gets tough for me, and it's hard because human beings experience time linearly, so we only see things that happen in order. Because this is not one guy's fault at any turn of this, but you look at the inflection points of like, if Blackwood doesn't give up that 4th goal and the Avs get that Val tip in and it's 3-1, you're in a completely different game.
Yeah.
If you get a little bit of a better play out of Brent Burns on that penalty kill, you escape a bad second period and it's 4-2. And maybe you do have a little something in the third period. And I understand that's me looking at it in hindsight, but...
There's so many what ifs you could play with a game like tonight where in all actuality, like this was one of the worst, if not the worst, from the Avs this season as far as pace goes.
Yeah.
Like it really... it just seemed kind of over by the end of the first period. Like those 2 goals, even looking back at it in hindsight, like they're 2 fluky goals. They didn't. The only clean one they got on Sorokin was that Lehkonen.
We're probably being harsh on the first one, calling it fluky. It's a nice tip from Val.
It is.
It also does hit Pelech on the way in, But hey, you're getting goalied a little bit in the first period. Going
Feels
for
nice
tip
to get
plays.
that one in.
You found the right solution, right? That's the
Right.
type of stuff you wanted to do. The Necas one is complete fluke. That's
pinball at the finest definition. Yeah.
No argument there. That's a silly goal that went in. We have kind of gone a little bit out of order here. I wanted to ask you before we get into this anymore. That first goal, goalie interference or not?
Absolutely goaltender interference, at least on 2 different accounts for me.
I don't really buy the first one. The second one, I more agree with you.
Yeah. No, I mean, stick gets stuck in the pads. You got another stick trying to push Blackwood's pads from underneath him. It just seemed like the answer was right there. For me, anyway. The answer seemed like it was right there for the refs. It didn't seem like a hard challenge at all to me. But that also comes down to, and I will preach this until the day that I die, we need a clear rule for goaltender interference. Like, we can debate this until we're black and blue in the face, but there needs to be a clear-cut rule set in the rule book, set in the CBA for goaltender interference.
It very much feels like a coin flip. And I on initial watch, I didn't really have that much of a problem with whacking at a puck and ultimately pushing Blackwood into the net. Mm-hmm. Is it a little crafty? Is a guy knowing he's getting away with something because the puck is loose? Yeah, I think so. I think there was a little bit of intent there. But the puck is loose. A player has a right to whack and attempt to play the puck if the puck is loose.
Yeah.
The stick sitting in Blackwood's pad
seems a little...
As the puck's getting shot into the net, I have a bigger issue with.
Yeah. There's that, and that's the biggest thing. Again, like, there's no reason. You have multiple angles of this.
Yeah.
And that call is still made. Like, I don't care about the whacking. The whacking's, you've got a loose puck. Like, we may not be able to see it from all angles, but it is, by all means and definition, a loose puck.
Yeah.
But call the second thing. Like, there are at least 2 different instances of goaltender interference outside of that whacked puck that I saw that I was just not okay with.
And to play devil's advocate a little bit, I guess you could make an argument that Blackwood wasn't recovering to potentially make the save on the actual goal-scoring shot anyway. But still, and this is anecdotal. This might be entirely my own bias as covering and rooting for the Avs. It feels like a lot of these goalie interference calls break against the Avs. Mm-hmm. They got one not too long ago with that weird Gabe Landeskog goal that went their way. But, man, I struggle to remember very many goalie interference calls where the coin has come up heads for the Avs or tail, whatever they picked. It's just tough. And for the record, do not blame Jared Bednar for challenging at all here.
No, it's a good challenge. And one that I'm sure he feels good about having a guy in the box for, even if they did lose it. Like, they took a chance on that. And that's where, again, it comes down to me, the 50-50 coin flip.
Yep.
Like, it's...
Avs PK is really good.
Yeah. You feel good taking a chance on that.
For sure.
So that's, I guess, the plus side of it for me. It's just... It does seem really difficult because the last thing I do want to sound like is a homer. But, like, that's the reality of it for the Avs. And it makes you wonder, right, coming at it from a super, like, cynical, like, tinfoil hat on type of way.
Yeah.
If this was happening the other way around and this was Sorokin in this position.
Does the call go the same? Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe we should have known the vibes were bad when that goal counted, I guess, because it's not like it got better.
Vibes were just off in general today, Rudo. I don't know.
I blame my hair if you want. I said you can blame it. I'm not going to shave it. It's going to stay.
First game after a big snow day in Colorado, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, something.
There's a lot of things.
It's a tough loss. It's not a tough loss. It's a bad loss. I should use the correct words there with the correct verbiage. But with some weird stuff happening, I do think it's easy to write off a significant portion of this game, not just because of the 17-game point streak and all of that, which is also fair.
Yep.
But some of the stuff in this game was not the Avs' fault, like a weird goal like that.
Nope.
We do need to take our first break of the show here, so let's make sure we're shouting out our sponsors with one of our new ones in Aura Frames. They're a fantastic gift option, especially if you're a procrastinator like me and you always are late to get gifts. You can get an Aura Frame for your friends or your family, and it's a great option that you can even set up as a gift. This is one of the coolest things. We got one for my in-laws, and you get it in the box, and there's a little QR code on it that you can scan, and you can set it up to have your pictures in it already. You don't have to like break into the box. The pictures will just be on there when they open it. So it's like a personalized digital picture frame for whoever you're getting it to. Super cool.
It's cute.
My in-law parents love it because you can get the app and just update pictures to it all the time. So if we take a cute picture of her dog, we send it to her parents. They love it. It's great for everybody. Everybody wins with Aura Frames. For a limited time, you can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames. Named #1 by Wirecutter, by using promo code DNVR at checkout, you'll get that $35 off. That's auraframes.com with promo code DNVR. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Of course, terms and conditions apply. And once you got yourself an Aura frame, make sure you're also taking care of the hard-working man in your life with Brunt Workwear. Brunt has their best-selling Marin work boots. They're not only built for the toughest jobs, they're also completely waterproof. So if you're clomping around in the snow out here, you don't have to worry about it getting into your boots when it comes to Brunt. Wherever it is, oily workshop floors to muddy farm fields and everywhere in between, the Marin 6-inch soft toe is built for workers across a variety of trades. And it's not just boots at Brunt. Their high-performance gear is built for tough jobs, from heavy-duty work pants to weather-resistant jackets. Brunt designs durable, reliable workwear to keep you protected and productive in any condition. With the temps obviously dropping, the snow finally on the ground in the holidays coming up, you can skip the throwaway gifts and get some Brunt Workwear. You get 10% off their entire order, $10 off their entire order with code DNVR at checkout. That's bruntworkwear.com and use code DNVR. Order today and let them know you heard it here on the show. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. Here's the thing. What we saw from the Avs top line isn't out of the blue this year. We've seen the Avs struggle with puck management at times this year, and they've been able to work themselves through it most of the time, if we're being honest about it, whether that's just by brute force and eventually coming up with a big play, or by simplifying their game and starting to do the right things. So the problem isn't necessarily the initial issues the Avs had tonight. It's the inability to adapt and overcome them.
Recall how many times this season I feel like we've said Nathan MacKinnon had a really bad game, but he ended the game with like a 3-point game or 2-goal game or whatever it might be. And that feels like, I mean, we got something, quote unquote, out of that with a Marty goal, with a Lecky goal. And it happens, but that's the kind of game like I feel like the Avalanche needed tonight, where like some of those top guys are having those bad games, but Nathan MacKinnon's out there calling it boring and still getting two goals and things of that sort. So that's that big push is what they needed, but they kind of fell into the same boat everybody else did again. Sleepy.
Yeah.
Sleepy, slow, not quick to pucks, not great with board battles.
Right.
Power play, which is I'm sure something we'll break down later, just looked horrible.
Oh yeah. We will definitely get into that. I'm in a weird place with it where I don't think you can ever come out of a game and just go, okay, we were bad and we lost all the battles. Mm-hmm. You can play bad hockey and still have good work ethic, still do the hard work part of it.
I feel like they've preached on being resilient that way this season.
And that was not there tonight. I don't think you can really have an excuse for that not being there. Mm-hmm. And I don't care that much, because if it's not there once every 27 games, fine. Teams have bad games. The Avs got blown out 6-2 in Game 3 of the Cup final in 2022. Bad games happen. It's more about don't make them happen too often.
Yeah.
If they respond, cool. You were lazy tonight, but you weren't. It didn't become a habit.
Right.
So,
That's I guess the thing for me is not making this habitual.
Yep.
It makes me feel a little worse knowing this was the first game of a road trip. But
yeah,
also,
starting one this way sucks.
yeah, starting it off that way really is kind of a downer for me. But being the I guess optimistic person of this duo it was the first game of the road trip. And they have 3 more games to show that this is not normal for the Colorado Avalanche.
And that if they finish this road trip 3-1, okay. You probably have felt better if this was the last game and you said, it's the end of a road trip. They didn't have any gas left. Yeah, right. They don't have those excuses here, so it's a little bit disappointing in that regard. But I think it's also maybe a bit of a reality check.
Yeah.
Most teams in the NHL, their goal for a road trip is to go 500.
Yeah.
And I think we'll be disappointed if the Avs don't go 3-1 on this road trip, and that includes a matinee back-to-back.
Right. So yeah, I'm not exactly complaining, and I do want to bring up in saying this is second loss.
Yeah, second
In
regulation
regulation.
loss of the season.
The least after that is the Dallas Stars at 5. Like I'm sitting like I'm not exactly sitting pretty on this game, but like I'm sitting like okay, if they can go out and not increase that number any more than 2 after this road trip, like that's okay. That's great.
Fantastic.
Cool.
The big picture, again, I think there's 2 things we'll talk about that stick with me more big picture from this game, but even those things, like, come on. If we're being honest about it, we're upset about this one game in a vacuum and not really anything else from the Colorado Avalanche.
I saw a graphic come up on Twitter earlier today, and it was like that kind of thing that they do at the like third halfway point of the season, going through like the biggest problems for each team. And this is going back to the top end talent conversation of the biggest problem that was listed for the Avs is being too reliant on their top guys.
I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. I think
I don't either.
there's been a handful of games of late where maybe you want some bottom 6 scoring, but you've been getting good stuff from your second line. And your technically Necas scoring was your third line tonight. And I don't think it's incompatible to make that argument for the Avs because they'll just put Ross Colton on the first line for 2 shifts. They'll just move Landeskog up and down the lineup. Their top guys are different players on any given night. So, I don't know that I agree with that.
So I just wanted to bring that up because I thought that was like an interesting conversation.
It is.
But
it's
like
a valid point.
Like you didn't get that out of top guys today.
I mean, yes, you needed more from Nathan McKinnon tonight, for sure. Fair. All right. First thing that I have more concerns than just tonight about.
Okay.
Brent Burns, Josh Manson pairing. This is a weird one for me because they've been really good for stretches of this year together, and you really like that. But I think this was the first game this season where you asked the question, what happens when they both have a bad game?
Yep.
Because Josh Manson absolutely prone to games like this where things aren't working for him, it gets ugly. And Brent Burns has had a little bit of that in him this year too at times.
It doesn't generally happen on the same night.
It doesn't. And, if you're going to sit here and tell me it's not likely to happen again where both of them have a bad night, fair enough. But I think for me, there's a little bit of concern there because it just happens just frequently enough that if you get a game like tonight, that pairing was unplayable for most of the game. They were brutally bad.
Yeah.
And again, I'm sure they'll be okay tomorrow, but it's just that little voice in the back of my head going, I don't know that you can do this forever.
I feel like this is one of the first games in a while. Maybe I need to go back and look at time on ice too, where Brent Burns isn't finishing closer to the top when it comes to time on ice totals.
Deservedly so.
Too. So that's the one weird thing I'll touch on. Other thing I'll say is I feel like the only defensemen I felt decently about tonight were Cale Makar and Devon Taves. I feel like Sam Malinsky had some good stretches.
Some good, some bad, yeah.
Some good, some bad. Like that one play,
Yeah.
that turnover near the net was a little kind of wishy-washy for me.
Yeah.
But like that's the only pairing that I felt super, super confident in tonight. And that's an issue, I feel like, in a game like this.
Yes, definitely.
Where that's it, like this is already the top pairing that's eating the most minutes among defensemen.
Yeah.
And you want in a game to be able to put out three pairings that you at least somewhat trust. And Sam Malinsky especially has earned a lot of that from Jared Bednar this season, one of his best of his career, I would say. But it's really difficult with games like that when the one pairing you feel really confident about is the only one you feel like you can confidently play.
Yeah, it's not going to work. You need at least functional play. Like, yeah, look, pairings have bad plays. Sure, Brent Burns gets cooked on that penalty kill. Fine. A bad play in a vacuum happens. It's when he spends the entire game struggling to make effective hockey plays that you start to run into trouble. And same was true of Josh Manson again tonight. I thought they both really, really struggled, both with the puck and just playing defense.
Yeah.
It was tough. Unfortunately, the long-term solution there might be the Avs need to trade for another left-handed D, like to balance the pairings a little bit. So I don't know that you can just say, well, here's the answer.
Yeah.
But
might be a little more complicated than just that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know.
And it's that one, it's fine. Like, whatever. Two guys had bad games. We can move on from that and don't have more bad games.
You're right.
The one that really sticks with me for this game, though, is the power play.
Yeah.
I can't, and like, I know the numbers are weird. They technically go 0 for 3. One of those is 30 seconds. It just doesn't matter. So it's really 0 for 2. And one of those is in a 6-on-4 desperation situation. Mm-hmm. So I get it if you want to write some of that off. But also, the power play didn't lose them this game, but it absolutely stopped them from being able to come back in this game.
The special teams battle overall lost tonight.
You lost it.
And that's, for me,
directly.
Like, that's usually the key for me in games. Like, if they can win the special teams battle, generally they can at least drag a point out of a game. Like, that's usually my correlation.
Yep.
Tonight was not that in any way, shape, or form. It's hard because this penalty kill is the best penalty kill in the league by a decent stretch. And you get scored on by the worst power play in the league. That stings a little for me.
You also gave him 4 chances. Well, I don't know. The reffing wasn't that good. I don't really blame the Avs for that.
When is it, though?
Yeah, I know.
Like, I hate to blame it on that. I don't want to blame it on that.
I don't.
But for me, like you said, it's not obviously there were many other factors that factored into.
We all silly like the mayor.
One of those weird ones where, like, yes, it did not lose you this game, but it gives you the opportunity to jump back in.
Yep.
It gives you you've got a 6-on-4 opportunity that you got 3 shots on.
Yeah.
3. And the other power play opportunities 5-on-4. You get 3 collectively across all of them. Like, that's,
and
it's just hard.
Look, even the 6-on-4 when I can go, okay, this is weird. You're in a weird situation. Even if you score on this one, does it really mean that much? Probably not. But the one in the third period where you're down 2 and you have an opportunity to make this a 1-goal game, and it isn't just a power play you didn't score on. It is brutally bad. Mm-hmm. It's just not good enough. And we're in a room where even, the power play looked pretty good isn't good enough, which it did the other night. And you can even take positives from that and say, well, that power play they didn't score on helped create a good stretch of hockey for them. This power play they didn't score on killed the game.
Yeah.
And you even look at some of the power plays they have scored on. The Landy Tippin one was a meaningless goal. The power play hasn't really had a meaningful impact in a long time.
Yeah.
And yes, you'd love to live in a world where the Avs were winning in the third period and the power play isn't that important. But we know these situations are going to come up.
Yeah.
And were the Avs just bad and they didn't have it anyway tonight? Yeah, I think so. And that's why I'm not really blaming the power play as one of the main reasons they lost this game. But it is a much bigger problem than that. And we're getting to a point where you have to toss it out the window.
Yeah.
We spent the early portion of the season saying, well, the Avs aren't this bad on the power play. They're not going to be a 10 to 15% power play the entire season. Okay, we're a third of the way through the season and your power play after tonight will be sub 16%.
I feel like it's gradually gotten worse too. Like I feel like in the first couple games of the season, you can make an argument for the things they're doing. I mean, the first couple games of the season, they actually get on the board.
Yep.
Like they convert.
They were finding ways to be good enough on the power play. Yeah.
And then we get through stretches where we're like, okay, it looks good, but they're just not scoring.
Yep.
Maybe they need more shots on goal. Like, I feel like we're not even in a conversation where, like, I can maybe say once in 3 games that I've seen a good power play. And that's a problem.
Yeah, it
and
is.
That's like
it is.
one single, like, power play. Like, 1
Right.
2-minute long thing, like, in 3 games. That's an issue for me.
It can't keep being this way.
No.
It can't keep stringing along of like, oh, well, here was a good power play. Oh, well, we scored on this power play in a meaningless moment.
And that's where, like, if I'm to make my list
Right.
of, like, problems for 32
Actual
teams and I'm
thing,
talking
definitely.
about the issue
Their
for
number
the
one
Avalanche,
problem.
that is
Absolutely.
the number one issue for me, is the power play. That is what's keeping them from being a, like, S-tier team.
And even, look, the Avs have been, I don't want to say getting away with the special teams battle most nights. The Avs penalty kill has been fantastic.
Yeah.
It's been dragging the Avs special teams along saying, this is fine.
Yep.
Don't even blame it that much tonight. Like, teams are supposed to score sometimes on power plays.
Yeah.
Your penalty kill's going to get scored on sometimes. It did
can't
tonight.
be perfect through 82 games.
You need the power play to pick up some of that slack eventually.
Yep.
And they didn't get it tonight. I have no confidence that they're going to get it this weekend. And maybe that's the biggest thing. We're at the stage where any confidence in the Avs power play has been lost.
Yeah. No, it's going to take a miracle at this point. And that's where you got to ask the question, too, of, like, what is the overarching issue here? Because I feel like at this point, it's going to take, like, the best power play coach in the world to come in and fix this. Is McKinnon really running point on it that much to where it's like they're really not going to contest talent? Like, are they not going to contest that this talent is enough to run it? Because obviously, like, I mean, the definition of insanity, something's not working.
Yeah, I don't have a good answer for you. I blame who you want to blame. I don't think it really matters. I think you have to take what they have now and do something completely different. Mm-hmm. Whether that's personnel or what you're trying to do, I think you need to completely stop what you're doing with the zone entries.
Yeah.
I talked about this on the watch along. Nathan McKinnon's the best zone entry guy in the world. Stop throwing other stuff in there. Stop adding a second drop pass that accomplishes nothing. Stop asking Nathan McKinnon to make these blue line passes that are just unnecessary.
Yep.
Give the puck to Nathan McKinnon. Let him go in the zone up the wall, and then get yourself set up.
Yeah.
That has worked for the Avs for pretty much Nathan McKinnon's entire career. I don't know why they stopped doing it.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about simplification all the time, too. Like, that does not just apply to single players trying to find their game. Like, it can apply to the power play as well.
Yep.
That's their biggest issue, is trying to get too cute, trying to force something that's obviously not working.
Yeah.
Getting into the zone and dumping it is the most frustrating thing in the world to me.
It's not working. I don't know how many other ways to say it. So we'll take our second break of the show here. as we are brought to you by many more of our sponsors, but specifically, Fire on the Mountain. Go get the best wings in Denver if you haven't had a chance to go check them out. Their stuff is absolutely delicious. They're also available at our Broncos tailgate. So if you want to try them out, get to tailgate. But you can also check out one of their locations for 15 different super flavorful made from scratch sausage, from mild for people like me. Look, I like my sauces as much as I bleached my hair. All right. That's as far as I go with my sauce. If you're more than that, of course, they have insanely hot and all sorts of flavors in between, so go check them out. They also have a great beer list and killer cocktails. On Mondays, they have $5 beers, and it's happy hour all day on Tuesdays. So make sure you're grabbing those deals. And, of course, they have 2 locations now, one in Wash Park and one in the Highlands. So get there. In the Wash Park one even offers delivery. So no excuse. Go get your Fire on the Mountain wings. Try the best wings in Denver. And, again, get them at the Broncos DNVR tailgate. Once you got yourself some Fire on the Mountain, you probably need to wash them down. Go get some ice cold Coors Light. Jump in and choose chill. When the Avs have a bad loss, sometimes the best thing to do is just breathe, have a Coors, forget about it. Because the Avs are still a really, really good team, even if they did play a bad game. Whenever the moment is to choose chill, reach for Coors Light. Whether it's, nobody's grilling right now. I mean, I've grilled in the winter before, but probably not today. So maybe you're staying at home, watching TV, having a relaxing evening of Netflix or something like that. That's when you get Coors Light, and you don't even have to get up off your couch to get it. You can go to CoorsLight.com/DNVR to get it delivered right to your front door. Make sure the mountains are blue on the bottle or the can because it's ice cold and ready to drink when you see those blue mountains. Of course, Coors is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. And make the most out of the times you choose chill. Again, CoorsLight.com/DNVR to get it delivered right to your front door. Please celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Like, getting back into things. We've talked about players that were fine. We kind of touched on it a little bit. Mackenzie Blackwood.
Yeah.
Was not his best
it was
of
not.
this season by far. And that's kind of, I don't know. Wanted to bring up that conversation in case, that's one of the things that I'm kind of sitting on for this game.
Yeah, he wasn't very good.
No.
The fourth goal is obviously disaster. Cannot go in.
Yeah.
The other ones, give and take there. There's some poor defense. Didn't love his push on the second goal necessarily, but the Avs coverage completely broke down.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You'd love a big save on Barzal on the power play, even if Brent Burns' defense was terrible. He falls into the same category as everyone else of you wanted someone to step up and make a play.
Yeah.
And just nobody did.
I go back to... they've had tons of games this season where goaltending has bailed them out. Utah specifically comes to mind at home, where Scott Wedgwood came up big. They've had some games where goaltending has been the number one, this is the reason we won our game. This was not that night at all.
I think there is an interesting storyline to this too. If Scott Wedgwood is healthy in the backup tonight, do you pull Mackenzie Blackwood after that fourth goal?
Probably.
And, how much does that really change the game? Who knows? But maybe that's the wake-up call the Avs needed in this game to say, hey, let's fix this. Let's do a little bit better. It's not uncommon for coaches to use the goalie pull in that type of manner.
Right.
And I get it. Trent Miner's probably not the guy you trust to come in and win a game for you in that situation. So,
but even then, too, if he's your... third worst goalie on the team. And I say that with all the respect in the world for a guy like Trent Miner, who's performing
Still
really well in the
NHL,
AHL.
yeah.
Anything can spark a team.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's the worst goalie on your team.
Maybe they should have put him in, yeah.
That's something that can change the tide of a team. It can change the narrative. Maybe that's what they needed, was a Trent Miner to come in and be like, hey, I'm here. Maybe I can do something too. And that trust being there and showing that, Bednar's willing to do whatever it takes to get a team a win. This feels a lot like, okay, Mackenzie Blackwood's earned his minutes. Let's see if he can try to pull himself out of this hole, and then just didn't.
Right. It was what it was. And do the Avs get the 4 goals anyway? Who knows? You're speculating at that point.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I did think it was interesting that the Wedgwood injury made it just that little bit more tougher with Blackwood not having the best night. So
Absolutely.
is what it is. I don't know, man. There's so much bad in this game. I think you could look up and down the lineup and find something bad out of every
Just
single
a full
player.
circle type, yeah.
And even, like, I agree with what you said earlier about Makar and Taves being the best pairing. Cale Makar's got to score a goal, man. We need Cale Makar to score a goal.
Yeah. I thought he almost had it.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, just goes to show, again, the elite talent that is Cale Makar to pull Sorokin the way that he did. Like, I really appreciated that from him. Goes to show how much other teams think he is just as dangerous as he comes off to be. Well, not just a goal, too. What if he's the thing to spark the power play? Can we make that happen?
30 games since his last power play goal or something?
Yeah. Can we make that happen? Like, I'd love that.
Yeah.
But no, with as many assists as he's getting and still in the conversation for the Norris, there's something to be said about, like, he is a great goal scorer as a blue liner. Like, he's an elite defenseman.
The best in the league.
But he is also an elite goal scorer.
Yep.
He knows how to.
Yep. And in his defense, fantastic play to set up Lecky for the Avs' third goal early in the third period. Like, again, not saying he had a bad game, but there were a couple opportunities where New York kind of blew their coverage. He got the walk in the offensive zone. Puck didn't go in.
Right.
And it's funny because, we were saying, hey, we need Necas to score a little bit more as of late, too, even if he was getting those assists. And Necas gets the stupid one off of a skate that goes in. He finds the luck tonight. Makar doesn't. Yeah.
Yep.
The Avs need Cale. I think it's
the
funny.
The Avs need Taves, too.
They do.
Like, I mean,
That's very true.
He got his first goal. I'm still mad that it was the one game I was not watching, but still. They need more production from that top pair.
Yeah.
I mean in the form of goals. Like, assists are fine. Whatever. They need more goals.
It's funny to say, but again, it's the same reality that we have with McKinnon. And obviously McKinnon is unbelievable. I think he's probably on his way to winning an MVP this year, even if he was bad tonight. But in some ways, I think the Avs need Cale more than they need McKinnon, especially on a night like tonight.
Yep.
Is what it is. Avs didn't get it done.
Yeah.
And that's not Cale's fault on his own by any stretch, nor is it McKinnon's, nor is it pick whoever you want. Thought the worst player was tonight. They are not at fault alone. The Avs as a whole
were bad. Yeah.
Straight top to bottom on that one. I know you mentioned it earlier, but I did want to jump into the TOI conversation. McKinnon at 22 minutes, Necas at 20 minutes. Those are the only two forwards that broke the 20-minute barrier. Bardakov cut down to 4.5, and not surprising from a Jared Bednar team that is chasing a game. We know how Bedsy operates, but
I didn't think Bardakov was horrible.
No, I didn't think
either.
so either. We had the conversation the other day. Probably pretty telling of who's coming out of the lineup with knowing Gavin Brindley could return on this road trip.
Yep.
It's probably going to be Bardakov.
and like it's even easier to kind of come to that conclusion when you see a Yoel Kiviron to 8.56.
Yep.
And a Ross
The
Colton,
next closest forward was over double his ice time.
So that's unfortunate for Zakar Bardakov, who I think has been on an upward trend.
Yep.
In the NHL. He's
agree.
starting to kind of get his footing in North American hockey, but he's not quite there yet for me. And obviously in Bednar's standards as well. Like it is going to be very telling when Parker Kelly does move to the middle, because Bednar trusts Parker Kelly more as a center.
Yeah.
Than
he just clearly does.
Zakar Bardakov at center, which it sucks because you're limiting Kelly, but. If Bardakov needs that extra time in the AHL to develop, and maybe he can become that guy for the Avs next season or the season
he wants
after.
to stay.
If he wants to. Like, he has to.
I mean, he could go back to the KHL.
I find it hard to believe he would do that. But the only reason I say this too is because you're going from a really, really good Avs team to a really, really good Eagles team to go and develop.
It's true.
Eagles are one of the best in the AHL right now. So if you're going to go and develop anywhere, it's in an elite organization that's going to give you playoff opportunities down there as well. So like you're still going and developing in an organization that obviously still has belief in you.
I mean, I think it'd be a good situation.
Yeah.
The Avs probably think it would be a good situation, but sometimes that Russian pull back to the KHL is just too strong.
I will ask this question too. Gavin Brindley's on the road trip.
Yep.
Projected to potentially make a return by the end of the road trip. If he plays tonight, is he the difference maker?
I mean, it's hard to say yes. I don't think one player can really make a difference that big when we see the way the entire team played tonight. But Gavin Brindley is absolutely the type of player that could be a spark plug, that could make that play that feels like it gets the whole team going. I think he could have helped. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, the Avs win this game with Gavin Brindley.
That's the only reason I asked, because he is a guy who outworks every single guy on the ice.
For sure.
Regardless, on both teams. And so, I know we had that conversation a tiny bit earlier, but
I think you could have picked either of the guys out right now, Brindley or LOC.
Yeah.
Absolutely could have been that energy guy that gives you a little bit of extra juice. And, it would be a total cop-out to blame this game on injuries for the Avs.
Yeah.
But you're looking at factors that, if you're saying, how do we prevent this from happening again, getting a Brindley back or an LOC back would help.
Absolutely.
Do need to take our third break of the show here, so let's shout out just a couple of more sponsors, as the official vehicle of DNVR is Toyota. Go get yourself a Toyota truck, sedan, SUV, anything in between. They've got it all, something for everyone, with 17 different all-wheel drive models. And let me tell you, driving home the other day, y'all need all-wheel drive, all right?
Oh, yeah. Take it from me with my little two-wheel drive car.
So many accidents. There were so many accidents on the road the other night that there weren't enough tow trucks. They're just accidents on the side of the road with cop cars sitting there waiting for the tow trucks to come.
Tow trucks are actively perusing and looking for people to help at that point.
Yeah, it was that bad. And you don't have to be that guy. You can just have a Toyota with four-wheel drive. 17 different models with four-wheel drive. They also have the most low or zero-emission vehicles combined, more than any other automaker out there, with 16 different hybrids, even hybrid trucks. So save a little bit of money on your gas that way. Get with your local Front Range stores, including AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota, Boulder, Groove Toyota, Littleton, Mountain States Toyota, Denver, Stevens Toyota, East Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota, West and Lakewood. Toyota, the official vehicle of the Colorado Avalanche. Let's go places. Once you got yourself a Toyota, look, crazy stuff happens, whether it be a car accident or, if you have a home emergency. And that's where new built restoration and construction comes in. If something bad does go wrong with your house, they've got your back. They're licensed with general contractors who can help with any project, big or small, and they're available 24/7. They truly care about being there for their customers. They'll work with your insurance to make sure a stressful process is as smooth as possible. They have repair services for fire damage, water damage, mold removal. They even do commercial projects. So whatever they are, they will help you out. Go get with them. They're true DNVR fans. We're super excited to have them and support their business. When that home emergency hits, New Built Restoration and Construction will be there at newbuilt.com. That's NUBILT.com, or call 720-903-4254 to let them know DNVR sent you. Fourth period, final period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast, looking at a game that it's very easy for you and I, for the fan base, to throw this game in the trash. Mm-hmm. Is it easy for the Avs to do that too?
I think so. Because, again, you're looking at a game that was very uncharacteristic, given what we've seen. And that, for me, yes, while saying yes, I think it's easy for them to throw this game in the trash, I do also think the conversation can be had and has been had about sustainability.
Yep.
And the cylinder at which the Avs have been firing recently.
They're in the red. They're redlining it for sure.
Yes. Yeah. So it's been really, really fun hockey to watch.
Yep.
But I wonder if this is the kind of game that does bring them down to earth a little bit and we see a god tier Nathan McKinnon jumping out. We see god tier goalie tandems breaking out and performing above what they've ever done in their careers. I wonder if this type of game is a game that says, no, we are human.
Yep.
Like we can have games like this, and that's okay. Again, looking at the standings, they only have 2 regulation losses on the season. That is okay.
Yeah.
That is fine.
They're still the best team in the league.
That is okay. And I think if any team, again, looking at the vibe in the locker room and the way that they continue to be each other's cheerleaders and hype themselves up, I don't think anybody's looking at themselves and saying, like, this is the bad game we have to worry about for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
like,
no, definitely
this is how we're going to
not.
play for the rest of the season. Like, this was a bad game, and I think they can admit that. Being able to admit that, figure out what you did wrong, and move forward. Go and not do that again. Like, there's only up from here, and I think that's a lot of what they're telling themselves heading across the pond to Manhattan or Madison Square Garden or wherever.
Same city, different street.
Yeah.
I think.
I guess.
I don't
maybe.
actually know where the Islanders stadium is anymore. I knew where Nassau was. I have no idea where this one is.
But yeah, that's my point. Is like there's something to be said about them saying that this is a bad game. They are human. The expectations that I think they've started to set them for themselves are a little high.
Yep.
Given the 17-game point streak. And they can sit there and not only lower everybody else's expectations, but also lower their own.
Yeah, it's a fine line between being a great team and having confidence you can win every night and hubris, right? Mm-hmm. You don't want a team to get too overconfident. I don't think that's what the Avs were tonight, but it is a bit of a reality check, like you were saying, of, hey, you're not going to win every single game. Hey, your C-D effort isn't going to win you probably most nights. It shouldn't win you the game, and it didn't today. So...
No, and I feel like a constant conversation in that locker room, too, is we know we're performing on an elite level to some standards, but we still feel like there's a next level to that game to be found. I wonder if this is the kind of game that has them revisiting that a little bit more and saying,
maybe.
like, we know we can play at an elite level, but what is it that maybe wasn't firing at our quote-unquote elite level that can, make this not happen again?
Yeah, and I'm not particularly concerned about the Avs fixing most of those issues outside of the power play, like I said. Losses are always something where the response is more important than the actual loss itself, unless it's a playoff eliminator, then don't lose.
That one sucks.
But, but any other situation, it's how you respond to the loss. And this is something we get to learn about the Avalanche now. They've only had one other regulation loss, and they immediately went on a 17-game point streak after that one.
Yep.
So are the Colorado Avalanche about to tee up another extended point streak and absolutely run away with the NHL?
I love that thinking.
Or are they going to fall into a funk here? And I don't expect them to fall into a funk. I think
I don't know if I expect a funk, but I do expect some building.
Sure.
Off of this. Like, I don't expect them to go from a lowest of lows to God tier.
Yeah.
On Saturday.
I think that's fair, but also context is going to matter. You would really like them to go out and beat the Rangers in their next game, not just to bounce back, but because it is going to be a back-to-back. You're going to have a tough game following up with that, and I know the Avs have been so good on back-to-backs, whatever. We talk about that every time.
Yep.
But when you have losses, it becomes that much more important to make your life easier going forward so you can absorb that, and it doesn't become a losing streak. It doesn't become something that goes the other way on you.
Letting this complacency become complacent.
Right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, maybe you've lost 3 in a row, and honestly, the Avs can afford to lose 3 in a row. It wouldn't be the end of the world, but it wouldn't be good.
I will say you'd like to see them win the next 3 just because in looking at the standings, recently refreshed, Dallas is 3 points away.
They do have a game in hand on Dallas too, but it's not like they're running away from Dallas. It's true. No.
So teams are starting to creep in a little bit more, and that's something maybe. I don't know. We talk about, overtime and trying to stack as many points as possible.
Yep.
This is where you really want to start winning games.
Yes.
And like stacking points early in the season is really, really nice. But now you're getting into a point where this conversation that I will toot my own horn and say that I did bring up and saying like those overtime losses become the difference in standings, become a difference maker in, where you end up in playoffs. And this is the part of the season where that starts to matter a little bit more. The teams that are normally in their spots by Thanksgiving, isn't that the saying?
Yep.
That are normally in their spots by Thanksgiving are usually pretty good indicators of who's going to make it to playoffs.
Yep.
I feel like the Avs are in a really good spot where they're proving that right now, but they can't let off the gas. They need to learn how to win hockey games. They need to learn how to win hockey games in overtime. Like this becomes things that they just need to build on.
And you want to see it do it against the best that teams have to offer. And that's what you're going to get up until the Olympic break.
Yep.
Post-Olympic break, teams are going to be out of it. It's going to be different for some teams. But
I fully expect the Avs to be one of them, given how many guys are going.
Right. It's going to be a little bit of a different look. But for the next 2 months, essentially, you got to be ready to take every team's best punch and punch back. And the Avs have done that up until tonight. So you expect them to get back to doing it immediately. Tiff, can you bring that graphic back up one more time? When you look at this stretch of 10, I know we're frustrated in a loss and we want to be mad about it tonight. And yeah, fair enough. You should be. The Avs are also 5-1-1 so far in this stretch of 10. So the absolute worst they could finish this stretch of 10 is 500.
Yep.
I guess technically even a little bit above 5. It'd be 5-4-1.
And weren't you just saying like that's the goal for most teams in this situation?
You want to get at least 12 points on a 10-game stretch. But yeah, for the road trip, you want to finish 500. And if they finish the road trip 500, if they go 2-1 in their next 3 games, okay, you finished 7-2-1. You got 15 points in that stretch of 10. That's really good. That's 750 hockey. It's not 850 hockey, but like you said, let's bring it back into reality here. Maybe the Avs can consistently play 750 hockey.
No, I can't imagine if the Avs finish that way that Bednar's looking at this last 10-game segment with much complaint.
Yeah, no, I don't think he will be.
Like there's one glaring issue that I hope he notices because I mean we all notice it.
Surely he's noticed it before now. Yeah.
Right. Hopefully that's still a glaring issue for him. But I can't imagine that he's looking at this and saying like this is a really good hockey team. Like there's not much that I feel like I have to be worried about in regards to this team performing. They have one bad game, throw it in the trash. We've performed well after that. Like okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I would not I don't think there's anything short of going 0-4 on this road trip wouldn't cause me concern beyond the individual games themselves. Yeah.
Now, in looking ahead, in the spirit of looking past this, because we are throwing this in the trash.
We are.
With the Rangers at 10:30 on Saturday.
Yep.
You got a back-to-back. First game.
Yep.
Do they go into this with tired legs? Is this a situation that they have to worry about? Or is this you got a day of rest and you have all the opportunity in the world to play like you know how to?
Yeah, I think they should be okay. I guess I don't know the sickness level of the team. If they have a handful of guys that are still getting sick, that could be a rough game.
Yeah.
If today was the day that most of them are starting to get over it, they'll be fine. I'm not worried about it. Mm-hmm. I don't think they should be that tired. They should be just fine there. I do think you might have an interesting goaltending conversation because we don't know, if Wedgwood is really close, okay, you just play Blackwood on Saturday and Wedgwood is good to go on Sunday.
Right.
If Wedgwood isn't that close,
does Minor get a game?
Do you play Minor? I know Bednar would probably say no to that, but we could see something like that. And
I think he's shown he's capable, though.
And I trust the team in front of him to put together a quality game. So that could be an option.
Feed off of things like that, too. If the team in front of you is playing competent hockey, like that's Wedgwood's mentioned it all the time, that it's really easy to put on a good performance when the team in front of you is playing well. And it makes it that much easier to make those big, game deciding saves.
Yeah.
I think, very true for Minor. We saw it when he came in relief during the Carolina game. Like, he's shown that he has what it takes to play against really good teams.
Yeah.
So I only hope that confidence is there for Bednar and company as well.
And if you want to give Blackwood the Rangers game as a bounce-back game, totally fine.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that, but you do have a conversation there about what it looks like. The other thing I would say about the Rangers game is score first, man. Make your life easier in one of these games.
Not playing from behind. That's the thing that killed the Avs most tonight.
The last game, I mean, I guess they scored first against Montreal. It wasn't that long ago that they scored first, but yeah, the last few feels like giving up that first goal is... I don't think this game happens if the Avs don't give up the first goal of the game. I'll put it to you that way. It's a way to show you're engaged in the game and you get to where you need to go.
Yep. Not worried about it.
That's all I got. We did have a super chat to get to. It looks like $2 from Ryan saying 0-1 in the blonde Rudo era.
Shave it.
I mean, you guys can blame it, but I'm not going to change it for free. The going rate is apparently $1,000. If you guys give it $1,000 in super chats, I'll do whatever you want to my hair.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's either $1,000 or the Avs going on an insane 10-game win streak to keep the hair shaved off.
If the Avs go 0-10, I'll shave it. All right. If they go on a 10-game losing streak, I will shave the head. Otherwise, I'm not worried about it. All right.
Valid.
It can be blamed and it still exists. So.
Yep.
Is what it is. Bailey, any final thoughts or are we out of here?
Throw it in the trash. Let's move on.
Straight into the bin. We are off tomorrow, but we will be back bright and early for Saturday's game, so come join us for that. And actually, we do have a mini pod that will get posted tomorrow. So if you want your fix, we'll have a video out. Make sure you go check that out tomorrow. We appreciate y'all. This has been the DNVR Avalanche Postgame Show presented by Bet365, and we'll see you on Saturday.
We all silly like the mayor.